The Empty Pot, retold by Betty Yee, illustrated by Jin-Hoo Kim. Focus question: what lesson does Shen learn? A long time ago in China, there was a boy named Shen. He lived with his mother in a wooden house in a countryside village. Their house was very small, but their garden was always full of beautiful flowers and other plants. Shen's mother had planted the garden before Shen was born. She taught him everything she knew about gardening. The Empire of China was a very old man who had no children of his own. He worried about who would become the next empire and what would happen to his country. He decided to choose the next empire from among the children of his empire. One day, the empire announced that the people of China should bring their children to his palace. The empire revealed his plan to the crowd that had gathered. He declared, "I will provide a flower seed to any child who wants one. Take your seed home and plant it in a pot. In a year's time, come back to the palace with your pot, and I will select the next empire." Shen lined up with the other children to get a seed. He could hardly contain his excitement. Shen treated his seed with great care. He carried it home in a silk pouch. He planted the seed in a little clay pot in his garden, covered it with soil, and gave it water. Days passed, but the little seed didn't sprout. Shen put the seed in a bigger pot made of a fine china. He moved the pot to the sunniest corner of the garden. Weeks passed, but the little seed didn't sprout. Shen carried his pot 5 miles to a well that was famous for having sweet, fresh water. Months passed, but the little seed didn't sprout. He kept his pet cricket next to the pot so the seed could hear its sweet nighttime chirps. Seasons passed, but the little seed still didn't sprout. A year went by. It was time to bring the pot back to the empire's palace. Shen felt downcast and glum. His seed hadn't sprouted at all. His wise mother found him weeping in the garden. "You did your best," she said to Shen with encouragement. "I am very proud of you. Bring your pot to Empire and tell him what happened." Children arrived at the Empire's palace with their pots full of flowers. Each pot seemed to hold flowers more beautiful than the last. Shen looked down at his own empty pot and wanted to run back home. He calmed himself down, remembering his mother's words. He decided to stay where he was. The Emperor walked slowly through the crowd of children and flowers, studying each child and pot as he went. Something was wrong. The Emperor didn't look pleased. In fact, it seemed as though the prettier the flower, the angrier he became. At last, he came to Shen and his empty pot. "What's this?" the Emperor demanded. "Why is your pot empty?" Shen hung his head in shame. "I am sorry. I put the seed in a pot, but it didn't grow. I put it in a bigger, fancier pot, but it still didn't grow. I made sure it had plenty of sunlight. I gave it the freshest water. I even let my cricket keep its company at night. Still, it would not grow. I tried my best." Suddenly, to his surprise, Shen heard the Empire shout, "I've found him! I've discovered a child worthy of becoming the next empire. I don't know how the rest of you grew your flowers. The seeds I gave everyone were boiled. they could never have sprouted. But this honest, brave child told me the simple truth. He used his best effort to try to grow the seed. These are the qualities I want to see in the next empire. Shen and his mother went to live in the palace. Every day, the Empire and Chen worked in the palace garden together. When Shen became Empire, he cared for China just as he had always cared for his own garden.